Good afternoon, everybody. I am Conquering History Games, and welcome back to another episode of the Farewell Graduation Campaign here in Hearts of Iron 4, Kaiserreich. So happy Sunday night, everybody. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. And wait, is my audio on? Yeah, I think we're okay here. So today, we're going to keep playing as the Russian Social... isn't it like now it's the Russian Democratic Socialist Federative Republic or something? They just didn't actually change the name. Okay, so it's been a couple of days. When did I last stream? Was it Thursday? Yeah, jeez, it was Thursday. It feels like ages ago already. Had a long weekend. So that's what's kind of nice about this. Another reason why I'm actually really looking forward to the next few days of streaming after taking a couple off, because it's like, okay, this is something I can ground myself in. So we still have 632 days to go on the Great Modernization progress. I don't remember exactly what our factory count was at when we started. I think it was 83. So we've picked up 12 over the last year. Since it's started. That simply is not going to cut it, I think. Because how many days was it? It was like 720, so it's been 90 days. I'm not sure, but let's see if... I don't know. We have the option here to attack Mongolia, which is interesting. How many factories do they have? 9. Kind of don't think it's worth it. Shanxi Click is still kind of around. On the other hand, if I'm gonna... Yeah, I still don't exactly know what is the issue here in Central Asia. What's going on there. We're still working on our constitution. Okay. Then let's just keep on keeping on. Time to figure out our cultural minister. The artists are the engineers of the human soul, and with the revolution there is much engineering to be done with the souls of the Russian people. Excuse me. Some water there. The ministry's chief responsibility is to propagate our message to the masses, to instill socialist values, and fight counter-revolutionary culture. There is no lack of idealistic cultural engineers. Alexandra Kolyonte wishes to remake the entire Russian society and abolish the family and the patriarch, while Ivan Gronsky seeks to create a new socialist heroic culture. The socialist revolutionaries are suggesting Boris Malkin, the organizer of film production, and a party propagandist. So Kolonte is for the internationals, Gronsky is anti-international with the communists, and then Malkin is the PESR. So I'm just gonna list it that way. So cultural minister, who to please, internationalists, hardline communists, or radical socialists. So I don't think any of these actually hurts our relationship with anybody, which is good. So it's just all three options are kind of positive for once. Since it's not something where +1 with the communists, -3 with the radical socialists or something. It's like nothing's going to get worse. Right now we've got the communists at 8, the Danists at 4, and the socialists at 5. Bolsheviks are at 5. Yeah, something like that. Hello there, Jacob. I was thinking about that name, Jacob, just today because I was I decided this morning. I guess we have to begin with Severance. So I've been really enjoying Severance. I'm sure people hearing this are like, you probably, even if you haven't watched it yourself, you've been hearing all the raving about Apple TV and Severance. But without getting into spoilers, Patricia Arquette is in that show, and we haven't been seeing much of her, not as much as I'd like right now. I know it's going to pay off, but I was just kind of going, man, I need to scratch this Patricia Arquette itch. So I checked out Boyhood from the library. And Boyhood, if you've never heard of it, I'm just vamping while people vote, by the way. But Boyhood, if you've never heard of it, is it's actually like a perfect film. There's some movies where you're just like, that's actually perfect. This movie has been done. We never need to do it again because it's been done perfectly. I think like a famous example of that would maybe be something like The Godfather or Goodfellas. Why am I on gangster stuff? Trying to think of like a perfect movie. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. But even movies that are, I guess I'm like kind of thinking of like big epic movies, but like you can have maybe what you call like a perfect B movie, like a little horror film, a little slice of a grindhouse thing. And it's like, because different movies, different films are trying to accomplish different things, right? And I think Boyhood is an example of a perfect film. And incidentally, I think I said in a stream on Thursday, I said I was going to stop watching movies because I'm like watching too many bangers, so I need to give myself a break so I can appreciate them. I think I'm going to take March. So I've decided I'm going to take March off from watching movies. And so now I'm like, ooh, what do I want to watch before I take a little break? So yeah, I was watching Boyhood, and the thing was, I specifically decided, oh, let me throw this on because that movie came out 12 years ago, I think, now, something like that. So it's not a new recent flick, but of course I am now 12 years older than when it came out, and I think that contributed a lot to me appreciating a lot of the adults more, even in maybe like villainous ways, you could say. But I probably should say what Boyhood's about while we're still waiting for people to vote. So Boyhood was this movie that was done by Richard Linklater, who's just this extremely underrated director. I think extremely underrated. The main thing that he's known for before he did Boyhood is that he did Dazed and Confused, which was like a classic. But he's like he did, no, wait, what am I saying? He did School of Rock. Everybody knows what School of Rock is. I guess I don't really think of that necessarily as like a Richard Linklater film because it's sort of different from the rest of his work. So anyway, Boyhood was a gimmick where he began filming in 2012. Not 12, 2002. And the concept was that he was going to create a movie centered around a real boy's life. Or, I mean, not a real boy, but I mean, like, the same boy. A boy would be played by the same actor from the time that he was 6 years old until he graduated high school and goes off to college. So it's 12 years it took to make this movie. And so what they were just doing is they would just keep bringing back all the other actresses. So like the boy in the movie, his name is Mason. His real name is L.R. Coltrane. And he his older brother, in quotation marks, is played by Lorelai Linklater, who's the actual daughter of the director. Ethan Hawke plays his father. Patricia Arquette plays his mother. And so, as it was taking 12 years to make, that meant every year they'd have to keep coming back. And it's just such a one-of-a-kind, incredible movie about, as the title says, boyhood. But it's like Patricia Arquette freaking kills it. I've never seen Ethan Hawke do a better role. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. Everybody should be done now. But Boyhood, it's great, and it's like, if you want to know what it was like to grow up in Texas in the first 20 years of the 2000s, yeah, watch Boyhood. Okay. Okay, so the winner is going to be the Radical Socialists with 100% of the vote. Malkin, wait a minute. Okay, I was just adjusting my mic. So So that's going to help us with PSR and the Radical Socialists, which is, I guess that's good because we've been really pissing them off a lot lately. So we're all the way up to 6 with them. That's good. Okay, let's move on. Past the 5th of November. Remember hearing about Boyhood. Yeah, Boyhood. Now, you need to set aside the time. But Boyhood is a movie you got to set aside the time. I think it's over 3 hours. I mean, I should know. I watched it this morning, but it's because you don't when you watch film at home. It hit a point where it's like, okay, that's a break point. Let me, get up, use the bathroom, etc. Let's see. How long is that movie? Checking now. 165 minutes. Honestly, I thought it was longer. I thought it was longer than that. But it's a really unique piece of film. Right. Do I want to get a land doctrine? No. We're still 52 days away from defaulting on German debt. I'm really curious how that's gonna go down. All right, time to figure out our agricultural minister. So I think what I'm just gonna do again is I'll read the thing. Let's start, or I guess I should read that first. It's gonna take a while, we're building a new constitution, new nation, new country. The People's Ministry of Agriculture. At the heart of the Workers' Coalition, there are radically different views on how to approach the so-called agrarian question. The Socialist Revolutionaries already expect to gain the post as the self-declared defenders of the rural folk, and in all fairness, there are few parties in Russia with more experience and knowledge about the Russian countryside than the SRs. Ilya Mayorov, Spiridanova's husband, is the obvious candidate, a matter-of-fact agrarian economist and avowed peasant communist, who would see Russian peasantry elevated into socialism not through coercion, but through material development. Sergei Dubrovsky is drastically different and represents the view of much of the VST. The Russian countryside must be dragged into modernity by force through massive industrial projects and growth of the provincial cities. As a more balanced candidate, the famed communist theorist Nikolai Bukharin, supported by the right faction as a moderate, would prefer more natural advancement of the countryside and economy as a whole rather than its forceful direction. So it's like just the internationalists, disables, municipality of agrarian reforms, disable. Oh, okay, hold on. So let's take. So this is basically going to decide, can we do municipalization of farms, which will help with anti-socialist resistance, and it's basically the more the radicals like us, the better it's going to be. Or we could go with agricultural industrialization, which is going to give us decisions to do that with. And then with Bukharin, we just get less united. So let's start the poll. I need to get like a little lamp in here or something, because I need something for. I don't like turning the ceiling light on because then it's too bright. But then once it hits night, it gets too dark. Oh wait, no, I have a light. I can use. No, that's not gonna work. Because the humidifier I got has a light, but okay. Anyway, Dubrovsky, Mayorov. There. Okay. And Bukharin. Okay. What do I want to vamp about? I guess I keep talking about Boyhood. Oh yeah, so yeah, Richard Linklater, that director, as I was saying, super duper good. He's he's a Texan, so I'm kind of biased, but like everybody talks about Dazed and Confused, which was his not like his big film. That's like what put him on the map. But his debut film is, in my opinion, very underrated. It's called Slacker. And the concept is that you're just watching like I think it's like 30 characters. Maybe not 30, but it's like more than a dozen characters around Austin, Texas. So the way the movie begins is this guy gets off the airplane landing in Austin, and he gets into a taxi, and then he just tells the taxi about his flight, and then he's the taxi is driving to a different part of the city, and basically what happens is you got to think of it as like a series of monologues from people who like they finish their monologue, and they've been walking through the city, they've been driving through the city or something, and so then it moves on to a new character who then will give another monologue, and they're like all over the place. And I'm saying monologues, but like they're giving monologues, but it's like in a realist fashion where they're in like the real world. So it's not like they're staring at the camera and just saying lines. It's not an audition tape. But like the one that Richard Linklater is playing himself, the guy talks about like how he had a dream, and he wondered what his life would be like if he had approached this really beautiful woman, which he didn't. And then like you're hearing him describe this like fantasy dream world he could have had, and then at the end he goes, man, I really should have gone up and talked to her, huh? But like then there's one where you go into a room, and there's a guy who's complaining about how Bush stole the election, and it's not the first, and I mean the first Bush, George H.W. Bush, and saying electoral politics is BS, man, and but it's like the point is that they're all like outsider types. So yeah, they're not quote unquote normal people. But it's a very interesting one. Movie. Made on a shoestring budget, Okay, how's the voting going? We'll give it 2 more minutes. Of course, Dazed and Confused, by the way, rightfully famous. The paddling and the McConaughey out there. All right. That's how it's a Texan movie. I haven't seen that one in ages, really. There was Before Sunrise, which was great. Before Sunset, which was like, okay, I guess a sequel. Can't just let sleeping dogs lie. He did the Billy Bob Thornton Bad News Bears, which I liked. A lot of people didn't like it. I liked it. Thought it was good. Yeah, I'm looking up now. What has he even got coming up next these days? What's something he's directing and writing? Nouvelle Vague, upcoming French film directed by Richard Linklater. Ooh, Texan goes to France. Depicts the making of the movie Breathless. No idea who any of these actors in it are. I'm sure it'll be good. Okay, we'll go ahead and end the poll because it's pretty decisive who's won. That being Bukharin, of course, the famed communist. So that's going to help us with the Danis. The internationalists are less united now, though. I mean, it's still good. We're floating at 60. That's pretty dang good, I think, all things considered. We were going hard communist early, but it's been balancing itself out. The fall of Delhi. Goodness. Could the Princely Federation wrap this one up, maybe? Declared war in Argentina. Been going tangoing lately. That's been fun. fun. It's fun. It's fun when I'm dancing with somebody who's, kind of close to me in height. I'm kind of a taller person in tango. Having a dance partner of similar height is really nice. But it's an interesting dance in its structure and its rigidity. I mean, it's easy to see why, of all the South American countries, Argentina flirts with fascism the most. Sometimes it's more than flirt. Yeah, obviously I'm not gonna say where. But here, there, anyway, they're all over. Speaking actually of El Paso, I spent a couple. We're just waiting for some things to happen. Oh, shoot! I forgot to check in on the syndicate. Okay, we've almost got New England wrapped up here. Come on, finish these guys off. Okay, Spain, how's that going? Yeah, we're just hanging around, hanging around. That's not working. No, I'm just gonna dismiss this because I keep wanting to check it and I don't need it. Same with this. Missing equipment production. Yeah, I don't need any of those alerts. But it was a couple of weekends ago, 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know. But I went out of town and just the traffic was just so horrifically bad. And I was going to an event where everybody in the parking lot was leaving and to be hitting the highway, and I was just like, you know what? I would rather just go do something else in this city than go get in that super long line of traffic because because there was bullshit happening on the highway. And hello there, Ikarik. So what ends up happening is I'm like, I could go home now. There's little point. Patagonian Workers Front requests manpower. Oh, I don't even need to ask you guys. I know you're gonna want this. We will send men and equipment, so that's going to increase our infantry equipment production costs for a month, and we'll lose 9,000 manpower. But they're going to approve our government now, which I think is also going to be good for trade. Could I send volunteers? I could send 1 volunteer. Don't I have a mountain division somewhere? I think I do. Yeah, here he is. Let's send that guy over. So yeah, I end up staying in this other city for another couple of hours, just because it's I would be spending those 2 hours in traffic anyway. And then, after that, I said, okay, now let's head back. And I take the parallel road to the highway, because I'm like, let me see if traffic is actually cleared yet. Sure enough, it hadn't. So I just took a parallel road home. It's like, oh, you couldn't go highway speed. It still was faster than the highway. So, oh yeah. It's just so frustrating how just a little bit of construction bullshit it just turns everything completely haphazardous and ridiculous sometimes. There was another time in town that it was the same thing. I was like, because I don't live in flat country. I was coming up over the side of this mountain. And I looked down and saw just endless tail lights in the direction that I was going. And so I just pulled over to a bar. Because I went, well, I can have a drink because I'm certainly not going to be driving. And then I had it in the car. I'm kidding. But yeah, I just waited it out. All right. So we finished this. Villagers flock to Matushka as tensions in the rural regions have grown. Oh, nice. We completed 3 of the focuses. So because we were able to hold together a coalition, we've got access to multiple branches here. That's pretty cool. So, as tensions in the rural region have constantly grown, many peasants have started to make appeals to the socialist revolutionaries to help them. Comrade Spiridonova, often respectfully called Matushka in the letters, has always been a keen listener to the worries of the peasants and remains possibly the most peasant-friendly figure in the socialist leadership. The peasants tell of persecution, arrests, and fears of greater collectivization and poverty, and wish for the great socialist revolutionary party to stop the plans of the ignorant communists of the VST. So, we lost a little bit on the left, but we're still good. I think everybody's as happy as they reasonably can be right now. promoting immortal science, which is going to hurt our stability. Do we get it back later? Here we go. No gods, only progress. So we got to do this, and then we got to do another 35 days to get it back. Oh, dang it. Well, we need to be focusing on our economy. Most of the VST hates this. Replace worker controls with new Russian socialism. That's going to hurt us with communists, but we'll get... That's going to really be good for our consumer goods, factory output. That looks pretty good. Let's look at some of our other possible things. Ally with the Chemovites, 50 political power, and the PSR comes in more. All right, so that'll be a good button to press if they're ever getting a little too ticked with us. Let's not prioritize it, though. Inter-party dialogue. Ooh, modify VGPU right here. So this is just a lot of good buffs. It'll give us more daily political power gain. I like that. Oh, Dennis and the SDs are going to get pissed, though. Oh, the SDs are already out, though. Who cares? Encourage collectivization. It's gonna make the anti-socialist resistance, man. How bad is the anti-socialist resistance right now? Minus 20 on all of it. That's rough. I think we gotta get this. While we are all for the eventual establishment of social property, this cannot be done in all branches of industry at the same time. A very advanced state. Oh, I'm gonna try to adjust in the chair here. Here we go. While we are all for the eventual establishment of social property, this cannot be done in all branches of industry at the same time. A very advanced state of capitalism is required to entirely substitute socialist production for capitalist production. Until then, we must continue to increase the productivity of labor and expand capital through market mechanisms and cooperatives, and even tolerate reasonable and conscientious employers. Okay. Keep us going here now. Ooh, didn't I want to, Okay, after this, though, we might need to... Wait, our comrades abroad. We might need to do a little bit of some here. Defensism. Oh, I have to take this first. What? Oh, that's kind of annoying. Alright. Italy, we're holding. Spain, nothing's happening. Oh, dang it. King of Spain is kind of getting its HIT together. Alright, we'll try to do a push. Maybe a little force attack. Just a little dash of that. Is this done yet? Come on, y'all! Cut off from supplies from everything out here. What is the deal? Why is this so hard? Low supply, terrain, lack of fuel. I bet it hurts. I feel like that could be better. Protests against the Minister of Labor. The first month of the Daniel Sulimov government has been anything but stable, as competing interests, factionalism, and personal rivalries have been testing the workers' coalition at every turn. The newest crisis centers around the People's Minister of Labor, Nikolai Alexandrovich Ulganov. Initially, he got the post as a concession to the left VST, as he was recommended by Lev Kamenev, but as the union organizers have come to constant conflicts with the Minister of Labor, even the less VST has started to distance themselves from Uglanov's political blunders. His jealous enmity with a major union organizer, Alexander Shyapnikov, has only worsened the situation. One thing is known for certain: Uglanov's days in the government are limited, but for now it is not known who will take his chair. A unionist hated by the unions. Now that's surprising. So the internationalists are now less united. There's been a trade union strike that's now going on. We're losing stability. We're losing syndicalism power. Goodness gracious. So if we don't fix this in the next 120 days, we need to hire either Shyapnikov or Mikhail Tomsk. Relations with VST left, but aren't they already on? No, they're not. One of the following must be true. If we're at war with Germany, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Tomsk or Shapilnikov? Okay, so here's Tomsk. And where is Shapilnikov? Shapilnikov. Production efficiency and factory rating 7.7. Production's fit. Oh, this guy's just straight up better. Oh, but this'll change how they all feel about us. So we need to hire this communist, or what if we hire the other one? No, the other one, his abilities aren't good. So relations with VST left over 7. The VST left over. Okay. So we've got to we basically in the next 120 days need to get our hands on 150 political power so that we could hire Mikhail Tomsk, who's born on Halloween. Interesting. He'll give us plus 10% factory output, dockyard output, production efficiency, retention. It'll help us with the communists, and it'll prevent us from losing 50, and we're going to get more united. Yeah, it's good. It's good. How is steering the ship? This chat suggestions. It's going all right. We just need to get like this communist syndicalist centrist. So if I want to get 150 quick, I think that means after I do this, I should go ahead and ally with the Chemicalites, which I'll probably want to be doing anyway because we're going to want to shore up with the SRs because of we're just going to also be shoring up the communists again. So we got to keep them both happy. Man, they don't make the shit easy, do they? There's a fate of the veterans organizations. This is going to be like, you know, the Savinkovs are working together. Veterans organizations. Abolish them. Freedom of association. Okay. So the fate of the veterans organizations. After the Civil War, many reactionary organizations appeared to protect the legacy of the whites, attack dogs of the aristocrats and the capitalists. The Union of Volunteers Alexievites, the Association of the Siberian Riflemen, the Czechoslovak Veterans Union, the Krasnov Organization, the Green Union, and many others were largely organized around specific Civil War-era armies. Attempts at organizing similar associations for the veterans of the Red Army were usually crushed through the courts, and in practice, the only body that gave support to the Red veterans was the nonpartisan Mutual Union of Veterans. Almost all of these veterans organizations were first in line in crushing workers' rights. They served as manpower pools for the strike-breaking guards and offered volunteer support for, excuse me, to law enforcement. Despite attempts by the Republic to craft peace, they crafted strife, and now they have risen again. Veterans unions are arranging protests all across Russia with anti-communist and anti-democratic slogans. In more conservative regions, there have even been violent clashes between the veterans and workers' guards. Grigory Zinoyev has given the People's Minister of Interior Affairs a proposal signed by 100 members of the Congress demanding any organization glorifying reactionary terror be abolished. The proposal did raise some opposition, mainly from the SR party. Dmitry Popov pointed out that some of these organizations are maintained by SR-aligned peasants, like the organizations commemorating the People's Army of Komach. Thus, only monarchist, Savinkovite, or openly reactionary organizations should be abolished, and these healthy organizations would be allowed to operate in tandem with Red veterans. Okay, it's only been a minute, so I'll let you guys keep voting, but if we abolish them all, this is going to hurt our political power, but essentially the popularity of all the parties on the right is going to go down to the point that they basically don't exist anymore. But the Social Democrats are going to get pissy with us again. Remember, they're not part of the coalition right now anyway, and the communists will like us more. Or we could say people have freedom of association. That's going to make our anti-socialist resistance worse. But it'll make the SDSs happy. and the right will just kind of get a boost across the board. It's a tight vote. Need more votes. We're at 50-50 right now. The most centrist radicals in history. Okay, but what's Vamp about? I'm gonna give you guys like another couple minutes to vote. Does anybody remember the movie Holes? That's one that I like to check with people. It's like, hey, does anybody remember that Patricia Arquette was in Holes? Because everybody remembers Sigourney Weaver as the antagonist, the woman who runs the camp, the one who goes, excuse me. But Patricia Arquette plays Kissing Kate in the flashback sequences of the lake when it still had water. Yeah, the Disney movie Holes. So it's like that's a great one. Yeah, and she plays the Kissing Kate, the school marm. And then you had Sam, the fixer upper. So always coming in. I can fix that. I can fix that. All right. Guys, we need somebody to break the tie here. We are at 50-50 on this poll. Need somebody to do it. Digging up holes in your brain. Yeah. Did I hit like a core memory? If I say the word Stanley or the name Stanley Yelnats, does that stroke some part of your memory? Vote, save our veterans. Yeah. Whenever I think of anti-communist veterans, I remember this news story I once saw. It was like coming up on an election in Brazil, and it was about these army guys who were just like, they were like a veterans org, right? And they were like rallying against communism, which like whatever that means, right? But the left in Brazil, and then they're like all shirtless, but they got their BDUs pants on and the belt and the boots, and they're like running up a beach or something while they're chanting. And then finally somebody voted. Okay, ending the poll. Racist gunned down the poor boatman for kissing a white lady. Oh yeah. Sometimes I think there's a lost, maybe it's not lost art, but it's a less common art these days where you used to in American cinema just be able to see something just totally fucked, but it was like, as long as there wasn't a blood splatter, it's PG, it's PG rated. It was like, yeah, sure, 9-year-olds could watch this. I mean, like, there's been no violent, gory death of a dinosaur in a Jurassic Park movie that isn't emotionally exceeded by the death of Littlefoot's mother in The Land Before Time. All right, so the winner is there will be freedom of association. So the anti-socialist resistance is going to get worse, but the Social Democrats, who are in the coalition anyway, are going to be happy. Communists will not be. Authoritarian democracy, paternal autocrats, and net pops will all get stronger. Today, guys are swinging the other way. Like, we went really, really communist for a while. Now we need to go really, really Social Democrat. That's the true centralism. Yeah. In a grand protest, most of the socialist revolutionaries marched out of the Congress in a protest. Said protest twice in the same sentence. Washing their hands of Vladimir Levitsky's anti-peasant policies. In Andrei Kolygayev's fiery speech, he condemned the whole government and Russian communists as agents of Western syndicalist powers who seek to destroy the Russian way of living. He had the unsolicited support of almost the entire SR faction, even those who have previously been supportive towards us. Unable to bring down the government, the SRs instead seek to rob the Congress and its various committees of quorum and essentially free decision-making. The party has organized similar walkouts in most regional Soviets not controlled the SRs, and the ones where they have majority, they have sought ways to avoid putting Moscow's policies in place. The address by the SRs, representing the rural peoples of Russia, who make up the majority, demand an end to the unfair harassment towards the rural workers and respect for peasant Soviets. So we can either accept some demands or there will be no compromise. Start a poll. Reaction. Accept some SR demands. No compromises. Okay. Okay. That Holes movie really did have a good cast. It had John Voight before he became like this just kind of rambling man, old man. He was putting a little something into his work. You got the guy who's in Ballad of Buster Scruggs. He works with the Coen Brothers a lot. He's the one who plays Mom, the other camp counselor. Then Sigourney Weaver runs the camp. Patricia Arquette is kissing Kate. I'm forgetting the actor's name, but he's like in Psych and West Wing, and he's good. He's solid. Then Shia LaBeouf. I just realized Shia LaBeouf and John Voight were both in Holes and Megalopolis. What a double feature movie night that would be, huh? SR leads to more radicalism. Well, it's gonna make it's like we think the SRs at this point the SRs are like just working for the peasantry, the countryside peasantry. So we're just trying to balance all these factors. I think if we go with this latest no compromises, we're gonna be at like a -30. Yeah, we're already at -25 on the effects from anti-socialist resistance. So if we go no compromises, that's gonna bring us down to -30. Yeah. It's rough. We're at 50-50, people. I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes at least to vote. Oh. Oh, so something that was funny though about the DVD copy of Boyhood that I was watching. So it was a DVD from the library, so it's been used, of course, by other people, but that's typically not a problem. They tend to do a good job about keeping stuff straight, but I'm gonna have to let them know that this one is scratched, and I checked because but it was so funny because like I threw the movie on because I'm like I want to get some Patricia Arquette, and plus this is it's a damn good movie. And there's a section in the movie where her character has like back-to-back scenes, one where she's like speaking in public to a bunch of people and giving a lecture, and then you see her giving another lecture to her daughter in the next scene, but it's like a much meaner thing and a much harsher lecture. But it's just one of those. It's like that's that's just like one of 100 scenes in the movie where you're like, yeah, this is why Arquette won the Oscar. But that entire section was scratched up, so I couldn't watch it. All right, come on, somebody needs to break the tie again, please. Pretty please. Break the tie so I can close the poll. Maybe the biggest branch library has the buffer and repair equipment, so we send it over to for buffing the scratches off. Yeah, so I'm gonna let them know. It's the first. I actually don't think I've ever gotten a scratch DVD from the library before. This might literally be the first time it's ever happened. Um, they're usually pretty good about it. Um, but just like it's been watching too many bangers in a row. I watched speaking of the Coen brothers, I saw Inside Llewyn Davis, which I really was not into when it first came out. But once again, it was a thing where it's like I kind of aged up into it. Um, there's so many. I mean, it's a Coen brothers movie. Like there's a hundred amazing scenes, but that are like funny and serious and layered. But the part that really was hidden was there's a because so Inside Llewyn Davis, for those who don't know the film, it's about come on, somebody vote and break the tie. It's about a folk musician in like the 60s. This is pre Bob Dylan folk musician, and he you're just following a week of his life. So it's a slice of life movie. Um and just the definition of a character study. And there's a part where he is auditioning for somebody, hoping to get signed at this label. And he plays the song "The Death of Queen Jane," which is it's like a traditional. I mean, yeah, it's a folk song, right? And like you the audience know why he is playing that song because you've been following him for half the movie, so you understand what's on his mind right now and why he is like choosing to sing that particular song. But like it's this like really emotional moment of the movie, like definitely a core moment. And you're like, what? And of course, you're supposed to be sitting there going, that was incredible. And then the studio guy, who's played by, I think it's F. Murray Abraham, he just goes, I'm not hearing a lot of money here. Aaron, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Typically the biggest. Oh, okay. So we'll go ahead and end the poll now. Man, I really am so glad they have that freaking timer on the polls now. It's great. So the answer is we are going to say no compromises. Anti-socialist resistance is going to increase, by meaning decrease. But syndicalism and totalism, these people will be happy, right? I mean, as happy as any leftist could be, right? Oh, the trade union strike. It looks like we just kind of ended it naturally. Or wait, what? Completed. I heard his advisor left us in power. Okay. Good. I suppose. Yeah. Great. Where are we on defaulting on German debt? 23 days. Onto that. That one's gonna hurt. I know it. It's gonna hurt. But other bangers I've been watching was freaking The Witch, which I'd never actually seen. The Robert Eggers movie. So good. And I had that DVD, so I listened to the commentary. And the commentary is him just hating on his own movie. He's like so disappointed. Like apparently it was just like this really horrible production hassle, and he didn't have a budget yet. But it's like, dang, I mean, I think it's his best film. Sometimes limits are good. So, economy of free association. Initially, many feared a repeat of the catastrophes of the war communism that the Bolsheviks implemented, but the economic system of the RDFSR has turned out to be more moderate than expected. The government's leading advisors in economic matters, such as socialist revolutionary Alexander Ilyashevich and Danist Alexander Yenotayevsky, both former Mensheviks, have led a slow transition of the economy with the aim of reforming rather than revolutionizing the economic system. Yes, private property has been abolished. The state control over the economy has been kept reasonably limited. But state control over the economy has been kept reasonably limited. Only matters of national importance, such as infrastructure, armament, industries, power generation, and mining, are under the bureaucrats of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, while most of the economy is composed of small enterprises, cooperatives, unions, and so on. The state's role is to regulate and invest, while local associations of people are given as much economic freedom as possible. This has been criticized as market socialism by opponents of the policy, while others point out that small capitalism is not conducive to rapid industrialization. Despite criticism from the left, the mixed system has been relatively popular, especially in the rural regions, and has not led to great economic disruption. Still, it remains to be seen how these policies will work over a longer time span. One cannot force prosperity. So Danists, SDs will like that, communists will not. Well, we built up a relationship with them there. Okay, this says completed, and then it's not completed. I mean, what the heck is going on? Is it going to restart? Are we going to get trade union strikes again? Genuinely don't know what's going on. Russian anarcho-syndicalism. Pyotr Kropotkin's homeland has always been a haven for anarchists of many kinds. Anarcho-syndicalists such as Vyslevold Volin and Grigory Maximov are counted among the most influential post-revolutionary Russian syndicalists. Hold on, I need to go get a tissue. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So they're economic organizers. Truly, Russians can improve any ideology. We're getting more syndicalists, is what it's saying. We're up to a whopping 12%. All right, keeping it going now, keeping it going now. Can we finish off this doggone pocket of Maine? Do 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 do. We can modify the government now. I genuinely am not really sure what the heck is going on with this union strike. Do I need to hire this guy or not? Genuinely getting on my nerves. One class, two, let's dissolve the state and anarchy. Do that whole song. Anarchy, my dear, the brazen and the queer. Actually, that's a really good song. Because it's like, I like it. It's such an interesting, it's like Max Bemis said, I'm going to write a musical, like a big showstopper musical number about a girl. Except the girl is the concept of anarchy. Really interesting idea. And I don't even like, that's probably my least favorite Say Anything album. But even that one, it's like, I get it. I get it. Alright, so. It was always hard for more convinced communists to accept that for the foreseeable future we are governing together with these socialist revolutionaries. The Essers are critical of Marxism. Excuse me, are we talking about the Essers, the ones who already walked out? I'm just wondering, just trying to check on that. Defenders of the peasantry hold various suspicions and unorthodox views and are hell-bent on defining unique Russian socialism. Much of this is complete nonsense, at least to the VST's top theorists who have their roots in proper Marxism. The situation is unlikely to change anytime soon, as the socialist revolutionaries are admittedly more popular in many parts of Russian society, especially in the rural areas and in the lower officer corps. Many earlier bourgeois Democrats have thrown their lot in with the SRs as the lesser of two evils. We believe that in time the peasant class will disappear through rising material conditions and the awakening of class consciousness. But for now, we must make do with Spiritonova's party. or at least try to restrain the troublemakers in our own ranks. So we could prioritize the unity of the workers' coalition, which will cost us political power. It'll make things better with the PSR. The internationalists will be less united, and so the Danists and communists both will be pissed. Or we could say prioritize the unity of the VST. So that's the Danists and the communists. And then the PSR would go down by 2. We're up to 5 right now. I'm just trying to make sure you got accurate numbers on this. So right now it's Communist 7, Danist 7, SR's 5. Okay. Start a poll. Oh yeah. So what is the priority? The Workers' Coalition. Oops. Typo there, or the internationalists. So give you guys a couple moments to work on that. But yeah, I mean, let me look up this "Anarchy, My Dear" lyrics, because what I love, Max Bemis is a poet. I could just read his music and I'd be happy. Of course, I like the music quite a bit. So the first verse, so the song is called Anarchy, My Dear, and it's Max Bemis of Say Anything singing to the concept of anarchy. Verse 1. Anarchy, your wish is my command. I'll free the atom from its cell and place it in your hand. Reach beneath my coat of winter fat and tear my beating heart out. We're the beauty and the brat. Okay, pre-chorus 1. Oh love, like a falling star I fell for you. Do anything you want me to. And most of all, I'd die for you. It's true. You touch the world and all is set askew. Obviously this is not how he sings them, but I just want you guys to focus on the words. Chorus! Anarchy, my dear, the brazen and the queer. We bow before you, anarchy, my dear. Anarchy, my dame, I quiver at your name. I bow before you, baby, born in flames. So that's, yeah. But does he, I forget, in this song, but, let's see, here we go. Oh yeah, pre-chorus 2. Yeah, later on there's like, because I say, one of the things I like about Max Bemis' writing too is he'll make really simple verses. Like he can use simple words to create profound meanings, but I do like when he's like clearly whipping out his thesaurus. So like the bridge of the song goes, you coat me in blasphemy, well once I was so blind, the beauty in the spacious skies with boundaries undefined. You whisper tunes in my eardrums as we lay here entwined, search for love for oh so long, but one day I will find you. Yeah, so blasphemy, spacious, boundaries, entwined, not really words you usually hear in a pop song, you know? Something that came from the 60s, 70s. Oh, sure. It's always had that punk attitude. All right, how long's it been? I'll give you guys a couple more minutes to vote. I was actually earlier today because I've been listening to a decent amount of Say Anything lately. I re-listened to the album Hebrews. So he's a New York Jew. He's from Brooklyn, New York, I believe. And he's got a song called Hebrews, which is like really, really about his Jewishness. So I don't listen to it as much. It's kind of, I mean, all his albums are personal, but there's a funny song on there called Boyd, where it's like he's become a father and he's doing the the bit where you're the guy, you go to pick up you're like in high school or something, you go to pick up a girl for a date, and the dad's cleaning his gun, or oh, you better get her home by so and so time, and it's like, that's valid, I get it. Yeah, Miss Black Eyeliner, Jacob, you're right. You look finer. That's the song. Yeah, he wrote a song about his grandparents banging during the Holocaust. There's nobody like Max Bemis. But anyway, the song called Boyd, it's about, it's him basically cutting a promo on the boy here to pick up his daughter. I'm not going to read all of it, but there's a part that goes, "Don't put your hands on her. Don't read your poetry because it's worthless and it's didactic to me. Shave off your handlebar, stitch you to the car. I'll sell your organs off for tuition. So you better get her home by 11:30." Yeah. It's like, and that was like, that's definitely a lesser known Say Anything song. I forgot about it. What are we voting on? It's essentially, are we doing more? Are we still trying to appease the SRs, or do we want to shore up with the VST, the coalition of like proper communists? You know, the internationalists. I mean, I don't think we can really go wrong here. We've got them all at least five. So no matter which way you guys vote, I have things under control. I'm steering this ship. Oh, excuse me. My water. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. Okay, the winner with 60% of the vote is the Workers' Coalition. So it's gonna cost us 50 political power. That sucks. And the Internationalists will be less united. PSR will be happy. Is there everything I want to like really quickly buy? You know, I got the 50. Lukachevsky. I haven't done the Academy of the Black Apollouts yet. Yeah, all socialists, all equally unhappy. Carrier screen. Doing this. Yeah, just gotta suck it up. Well, no, wait. Let's go over here. Is there maybe something I could spend it on? 16 days till we default. It's a coming. Military factories. Do I want to spend this on factories right now? I mean, I need more. These aren't really super effective, super efficient. This one's at least got a civilian factory. Yeah, I'll do it. God, I won't lie, that hurt. 1979 game? What is that? So, I have a completed prototype reward to read. Where? Where do I read it? Oh, here we go. Add 5% progress to special project military engineering vehicles, and he's got more experience in land warfare. Okay, cool. Oh, Mao's legacy. Oh, okay. Yeah. Pretty much. Man, that was so fun. Remember that time we did? Yeah, we managed to turn Afghanistan Maoist, and it took us so many tries. And we had to. God, how much military did we have to invest? We had the whole damn People's Liberation Army, marching police call style through Afghanistan's mountains. Having lost the faith of both of his own party and Congress, Nikolai Ulyanov resigned bitterly, and immediately debate began on his successor. The VTS-SPS could not unite behind a single candidate who had the trust of all major unions, and Zinoviev was already loudly demanding that the replacement of Ulyanov should come from the left wing of the party, as Ulyanov had been from. As a modest man, Grigory Zinoviev naturally argued that he would be the perfect candidate for a new labor minister, a man able to fix the tarnished government-unions relationship. While there is a kernel of truth in it, Zinoviev certainly has charisma among the masses. The left VST group in Congress started to campaign for Zinoviev, with Kamenev speaking in his favor, but the opposition organized quickly, spearheaded by SR Vladimir Karelin and the right VST group, though enough votes were gathered to ensure that Zinoviev could not pass, even if Vladimir Levitsky wanted to appoint him. Grishna III, like others before him, failed. So I mean, did the strike work? The protests? I was a little confused on that section. I feel like I don't know. It just didn't feel correct. Like it was saying complete, and I don't know. Liberating Central Asia. Oh shoot, the war has begun. So we're about to declare war on the Turkestan Republic and Chiva. They're going after Samarkand. Activates mission. So here we go. Here we go. I'll just put whoever here for now. I don't want to bring back Tukhachevsky for. Oh wait, yeah, no, he's coming back because yeah, no, we're not involved in the wars overseas anymore. Infantry. Yeah, this guy's really good. Yegorov. Wait, oops. He's already assigned somewhere, but he's not. Sent his volunteers. Let's just give it a day or something. Like a sinner undefined. But we got that song in. Like a synonym defined by you. Yeah, there's just not anybody out here, it looks like, because they all went south to fight the Bukharinites, the Bukarus. Okay, there's like no way to get out there. Yeah, no airfield. Or here, I don't think it's gonna do a whole lot. Tukhachevsky or Tukhachevsky had some crazy beliefs. A breakthrough. Okay. This is just a question of who we're gonna boost. All right, new poll up. Zinoviev. Zinoviev did not surrender after the failed attempt at taking the Ministry of Labor for himself. Instead, he came forward with another candidate, Sergei Pavlovich Medvedev, one of the major figures within Kamenev's left faction and a member of the VTS's SPS Central Committee. Medvedev is already a much more tolerable option and could possibly gain enough votes in Congress even from the SRs. The rival candidate came from the right as Alexander Yulevich Finyentoyevsky was nominated, a man not from a unionist background, but an economist and political moderate. In the exceedingly tight series of votes, only one man will be able to secure a majority. So it's a tight one. Zinoviev will make be better for the communists. Yentoyevsky will calm. He's the Danist. Whoo. What the heck was I saying? I might actually be hopping off soon. But remember, I will be streaming tomorrow night. So the schedule for the week is probably going to be Monday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night stream. Tuesday, I might do morning. I'm going to plan on doing a night stream. I think this will be the third week in a row I've been trying to do like those late night streams where it's like already past midnight on the East Coast. We're going to see how that feels. But if not, we might have to call that a loss, and then I might end up doing something where it's my schedule. I might do something where Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I stream at night. Tuesday, Friday, I stream in the morning, and then maybe try to get another one in on Sundays, either in the morning or afternoon. So like 5.5 streams a week until we're done here is essentially what I'm saying. All right. Oh wait, no, I can't go forward because you guys are still voting. And once again, we have a tied vote. I need someone to break the tie. Por favor. Got things I gotta do tonight. Gotta sew a couple of things. Still ain't made dinner. Tomorrow I gotta Yeah. Gridlock has been the name of the game. Yeah. All right, but somebody just broke it. All right, so and I'm always so glad. I genuinely am so glad that YouTube always immediately like I in the poll and it immediately shows the results. So the, people don't have to say, "Oh, somebody's cheating, somebody's cheating." So it's like there it is. Or he's lying about the numbers. So here we go. Hopefully, Finn Yenotayevsky will calm down the situation. I think they're like kind of no. The Danists are on top now. Actually, the SR is on top. Geez, remember when we had to pay like 50 political power so the SRs wouldn't lead the coalition? Now they're at 7. All right, we're not getting negged by the Patagonia operation anymore, so that's cool. Danish Canada was the economist. Well, they both were, but I think it was just a question of their ideologies of the economy. Oh, they got a camel division down here. How about that? Hey, we broke through! Bukharin, so oh no, they just capitulated. I'm saying we broke through right as dang it, right as they were collapsing. Too bad. Come on, Cav, come down here. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Oh yeah, this lake divide. Okay, it's official. Russia is free of German influence. At long last, the Russian Socialist Federated Republic is free of German influence. For all of modern Russian history, our industry and natural resources have been subjects to foreign interests, be they French, British, American, or German. But with extensive restructuring of our economy, this is no longer the case. Factories and railroads built with foreign cash are now entirely in Russian hands, and they will remain so. So we're going to boot out Germany and Japan. We're going to get 50 political power. We're going to open up some decisions. We're no longer getting the influence from them, so that kind of hurts actually in some ways, but we're done with it. We're done. And we can maybe pretty soon here in like a day, maybe reinvest that immediately. Right here, Euro Marshall, perhaps. I think we might do that. Dang, that 4% consumer good factories hurts though, don't it? All right, Happy New Year, New Year's Eve, 1937, going into, I guess New Year's Eve would be 1938. We piss up with Bucharest, so now they come to help us. Yeah. Faculty with an unassigned scientist. Oh, and we're done with the nuclear facility. Nuclear facility. These guys have the same thing. So Igor or who do you guys want? Igor or Igor? Because they have the same stats. Which are Igor? Scientist. Kurchatov, the top one, or Ham? Man, I'm starting to feel in my throat all these Russian consonants and turnings in my, throat. It's rough. Rough to do the Russian. Let me get the lights on. Like the chin on Igor too, yeah. I think I might have said this before because I've been on a Tarkovsky kick for a month. That's what started it. That I've just been on peak is just freaking that Tarkovsky. It just set me on a good streak. But there's an older brother character in Ivan's Childhood, which was his debut, like full feature film. Who's like, he's the older brother, he's the Chad, and there's a part where it's like the camera catches him, he's stretching, is literally doing the Chad posing, like he's got his elbows pointed to the skies, flexing the triceps, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, just I can fix that. But I wanna stop watching movies for a little bit so I can focus on these books. I've been reading The Idiot by Dostoevsky, and man, the thing with Dostoevsky is that he'll have great ideas, but sometimes he gets a little bogged down in his own dialogue. And I mean, like, that's Russian literature, right? but like there's it's just a tiny little annoyance thing. So for example, he'll have two characters having an extended conversation with each other, and he'll just stop labeling their names, so it won't say like, vote against Lennon, Jacob Brownstead. I would be pretty pissed if I was that. Tenebrae said. Tenebrae then said, I like the so it's, I mean, I'm not saying it has to be arranged like a play, but you're just going back and forth in the paragraph with the with no indicators of who it is, which is fine when you just alternate. But when it gets annoying is sometimes there will be at least a third person who enters into the conversation, and then he's not marking who is saying what, and obviously he knows, but it's just one of those things. I feel he could have used a better editor, somebody to occasionally say, hey, make that a little bit more clear, which character is saying that, or then maybe it's supposed to be part of it. And in the little intro essay on the edition I have, it did say that it's his most difficult book. It's certainly difficult in a different way than something like Ulysses or Gravity's Rainbow, or even like a Moby Dick. It's not necessarily difficult in the sense that like, oh, this is difficult because you need to know these like really specific contexts to enjoy the book. It's difficult in a way that it's like he's literally not as maybe popular an author as I would say. He doesn't have that full. He certainly doesn't have the Tolstoy flow. Dostoevsky does not have the Tolstoy flow. Let's see. Finished Gothic romance novel, The Wicked and Willing. Wow, what a name. A few times I could say I was surprised with a multiple ending book. Multiple ending? Ooh. Okay, so the winner is Tam with the double M's. Whoops. Tam. Igor Tam. He is a leading authority in nuclear physics, versed in the field of nuclear fission with a focus on power generation, and is a fast learner who quickly adapts to new challenges, learning faster than peers, and excelling in diverse scientific fields. Been binging romance novels due to real-world events. Sure, I get that. Hey, any book's a good book. Okay, so now we should start seeing the ticker going here. Slowly but surely. Whoa! What is that? Okay, no, it's just a bunch of our forces returning home. It's all volunteers. I don't think we're necessarily even going to do anything with them right away, because just the ones who are already down here is going to be more than enough to secure Central Asia. This is actually really good, because now this means we don't have to take defensism and liberate Turkestan. So we're gonna maybe come down here in some sort of way. That'll give me 3 factories. Reduces cost of the national autonomies by 10. Aren't they only like 15 already? Oh, 25. I might want to do this at some point for flavor, but right now, again, I'm looking for factories. I think this is gonna be it. All industrial decisions are 10 less. Nice. I'll make some of these down here just 10. Very cool, very cool. So we might go... We actually might need to come over here. Establish Congress of Unions, Consumer Good Factory minus 5%, Interpire Dialogue. Great stability. Okay, I think we wanted to do the municipalization of farms. That'll help with the anti-socialist resistance freaking hellscape we're stuck in. Union of Peasant. Completed 3 agricultural industry. Municipalization of farms. Scaled by relations with PSR. 50 for 84. So if we come down here, we can kind of get a rebate of some kind. We're at minus 41 stability because of this damn anti-socialist resistance. Save that book in the shopping cart. What? But anyway, we have a compromise. Can we be unified for a minute? So we got political power, which is nice. Maybe we should have you guys vote on it. Yeah, I'm gonna have you guys do that. Start poll, or wait, we might want to come over here first. All industrial decisions 10 less. Yeah, this one first, though. This one, Arsenal of Revolution. Okay. We're gonna like maybe let some of this build up. Steel, industrial concern. This gives me 3 factories. This gives me 2. I think we need to do this one. 1938. We have how many more days on this modernization experiment? So we have less than 2 years to go. We need to be well into the 100s kind of quickly, definitely sooner rather than later. The good news is this stuff is going to get done faster. So like this will be done in March. Okay. Yeah, come down here. Like that. Yeah, I always hated this little lake here and this issue it creates. Alright. What is this? Cryptology. Completed it. Okay. Are we going to Afghanistan? I don't think so. I mean, if we did, it wouldn't be until much later. So it looks like either way, the communists are about to like us less. We're actually gonna, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here. So we'll pick this back up tomorrow night. I'm thinking 2100. Yeah, 2100 Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll deal with these protests in 1938. So, Russia. 1938. Start 94 factories. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. I'm Conquering History Games, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.